Happy Tuesday. Oh, wait. That would be Thursday. Okay, Corrie, I'm finally back in the flesh in Virginia.
So tell us how your flight with Southwest went.
It was, how you say, the worst. So I tried to fly out on Tuesday. As I'm driving to the airport, it's sending me texts that the flight's been delayed.
Okay.
Got 7 texts that my flight from Grand Rapids to Chicago, which is how Southwest doesn't fly direct to Reagan or something.
Okay.
It was delayed so far that I would miss my connecting flight by 2 hours. Basically, Southwest was walking me out the door, and I wasn't taking them in. So the only other option was, it's funny because when you fly to Chicago from Grand Rapids, it's exactly an hour flight.
Okay.
However, there's a time zone. So you land at the time you took off. Anyways, doesn't matter because I didn't get there. So the only other option was to leave on Wednesday at 3 a.m,
Okay.
fly to Orlando.
Wait, did you see Mickey?
Can neither confirm nor deny such allegations. Sit in Orlando for 4.5 hours. Fly to St. Louis, Missouri. Don't get off the plane. Stay on the same plane. Get a bunch more people on it and fly to DCA and in Reagan.
Wow, it must be nice to be this world traveler while I'm sitting here holding things
At the
down.
point, I don't think people moved to Michigan. I think they went to visit Michigan and then just couldn't figure out a way to leave and then just bought a house.
Well, it's good to have you back finally. I just know Heather was texting me, not going to be at work tomorrow, not going to be at work the next day. And I was like, oh, wow, this extended weekend that I'm getting.
Yeah, torture. This should be illegal.
I said, well, I think I might take myself to the mall.
I want to say, my luggage was more well-traveled than most people.
Well, I'm glad you're back, and I enjoyed the stories this morning of hearing your flight from hell back.
Flight from where? Yeah, so anyways, I'm back. So yes, because I've been stuck in an airport, the 2 Tuesday email will now be the 2 Thursday email. I'll send it out in a minute.
All right, Heather. So welcome to the Baking It Down podcast with
What will I
Sugar
find
Cookie
here?
Marketing. I'm going to let you explain.
Me?
Go ahead.
I just got off a plane.
Go ahead. What are people in for if they happen to find us?
Well, behind Corrie's sounds that she's making, sorry,
Wow,
the
whoa,
beta
okay.
variant coughing off. Behind Corrie's sounds that she makes in the background, the Sugar Cookie Marketing Group podcast, the world's longest named podcast to date, Baking It Down.
Yeah, you missed the main part of the name.
Which is a lot. It's a lot to remember. We cover really a couple things. We want to talk about marketing as it relates to baking businesses, and then kind of business management and psychology of the reasons why we buy what we do and how we go through the purchasing process and things like that. At the end of the day, if you took the principles here and applied them to your baking business, ideally you'd make more money. If you don't, please disregard.
Please ignore.
After that, we added a new segment. We are coming out with a course, whether we like it or not. That will be on August 31st. I am shaking in my boots. Corrie's sweating. We just want to cover a little bit about what that course covers. And if you're like, are they selling to us? The answer is correct. If we weren't, could we teach you guys how to sell?
No.
Right. Then we cover voicemails. That's people calling, emailing, texting, and group stuff is about a lot of the really awesome lives. And while I was gone, about 5 more people signed up for lives. I got to catch up, but they're really good ones. Twin Trust, I don't know why I thought we were interesting enough. For
Turns out we're not. We struggled with it.
This is the hardest part of the podcast. Sponsors in the mailbag, which, again, I've not been home yet to go to the mailbox, but I will go tomorrow.
I'm hearing a bunch of excuses and not a lot of action.
Blame it on Southwest. Southwest is supposed to deliver the mail.
It's somewhere in Chicago, maybe Missouri.
It said hi to my luggage.
All right. So Heather is actually going to take us through the marketing moments today.
Moment? Okay. I went to say moments. Moments with marketing with Corrie and Heather. Okay, what I had actually written this long diatribe, which everyone made fun because it was so long. And yeah, you know what? It was way too long. But I was sitting in the airport.
Through it, and I said, scroll.
You know what? I'm like, if I don't look at this iPad, I got an iPad with a keyboard. This was a dangerous thing. I got a keyboard while I was waiting there. And I was like, if I look up, somebody could take the seat next to me. And if I don't look up, they don't. That's why it's so long.
Okay. So all right. We'll give them the too long didn't read version here.
Okay. Choice paralysis. Have you heard of it?
They suffer from it.
Okay, great. Choice paralysis is also called analysis paralysis or decision paralysis. And it's the effect when given so many choices, you actually make none.
Yeah, because I always feel like I'm not making the right one.
Right. Okay. So you like to drag me to the Cheesecake Factory. We have two in our area.
Love the Cheesecake Factory.
Corrie will be like, I'll be like, where are you gonna go? She's like, you want to drive an hour in traffic to the Cheesecake Factory? Not really.
They have such big portions.
Okay, they do have big portions, but what do you get when you get there? I can tell you what you get. You get definitely the free bread and butter. You definitely get a Diet Coke because rest your kidneys in peace, and then you end up with the chicken Caesar salad
Every time.
Okay, but how many things are on that menu that's like a book?
4,926.
The biggest book Corey's ever read is the Cheesecake Factory menu.
Right after the Bible.
So you need to reread the first one and let the second one go. So the Cheesecake Factory, while I do love their food and it's great and it's great portions, it is a lot of decisions to make right before that waiter comes and says, are you ready to place your order?
Right.
As such, you kind of always default to what you know and trust and love.
Always.
Choice paralysis is a psychological effect of when you have too much choices, you actually make fewer. And you make worse choices. So the three things to understand about choice paralysis before we break it down is having too much choice causes paralysis so that we make no decision at all. Instead of being happy with the choice we did make, we think of all the opportunity cost associated with the choices we didn't make, and thus we are less happy with our choices. When we have more choices, we make worse decisions.
I totally agree.
Right, but instead we always like to offer up people a ton of choices because we think it appeals to the majority.
I think you think if I offer more, I might get more clients, customers, sales, something like that.
And initially you will. However, when it comes to the buying part of this, you're going to have people who are less satisfied. And I know you're saying, Heather, did you make this up? No. There's people that smarter than me did, but it really works. So Barry Schwartz is a psychology professor. He summed it up perfectly when he wrote, people don't make decisions based on what's most important, but rather based on what's easiest to evaluate. So, you get to Cheesecake Factory, I'm hungry, I want a salad. I know their Caesar salads are good. Caesar salad.
Absolutely. When the waiter's walking up to me, I get super nervous. I fiddle through the menu to pretend like I looked, and then chicken Caesar salad, please.
Right. And there's nothing wrong with that. But there's a lot on this menu that you did not consider because it was too many choices.
Absolutely.
Then you go to the restaurants, have very petite menus.
Oh, the one we did at Disney World? What was that one you liked? The one on top of the world? The one that looked
California
over.
something.
Yeah, California.
Yeah, very, when the menu is so small that the prices will be huge.
It's so high.
When they come with a scraper for your table to get the breadcrumbs off, you are out of your league. I am not ready or
That was
dressed
a
for this.
tiny menu.
It was a tiny menu. And so you read through probably each line item.
Trying to find the cheapest option.
There was none. The cheapest option was the bread and butter. So basically, don't believe me. So Vanguard Funds, the retirement plan.
Yes.
They did a researchers from Columbia University analyzed 750,000 Vanguard clients. So a ton of people.
Yeah.
Basically the size of sugar cookie marketing right now. An investment group. And found that contrary to common intuition, having a greater number of retirement saving plan options decreased the percentage of people who started saving for retirement.
Interesting.
So for every 10 additional options, they found that the participating number of people saving was 2% lower. So at 5 options, 70.1% of people were saving. At 15 options, 67% of people chose. And at 35 options, which should appeal to the most amount of people, only 63% of people chose a retirement savings plan.
So are you telling me, because I only offer vanilla sugar cookies, that I am getting the max amount of sales I can get?
You are not causing people to drop out of your funnel. Okay, now, marketing and sales, there's so many components to it, and you can get lost in the minutia of where the fallout is, but having a ton of choices is one of those causes. And additionally, if they do make the decision, they'll be less happy wondering if they would have liked chocolate over vanilla or strawberry banana blasty, Choco Road over chocolate.
I did have one lady who said, should I go with your vanilla or should I go with your raspberry lemon? And I said, well, I'm going to make this very This is going to be very easy for you because I only have the vanilla. She's like, oh, good. That's my husband's favorite anyways. So she found joy in her one option.
Right. And because she did not have a choice, she doesn't feel like she missed out on raspberry lemon drop martini because it wasn't an option.
Yeah, I agree.
Here's an interesting other study that they did on doctors. And this was an imaginary patient, but they told a group of doctors, hey, we have a patient with hip joint pain. They've tried every known drug on the market. What do you think they should do? all the doctors said, obviously, hip replacement surgery. If they tried everything and there's nothing left, hip replacement surgery, invasive surgery is the only option.
Okay.
However, half of the doctors, when it was time for surgery day, they told them, hey, actually, an experimental drug has entered the hip pain joint market, but the patient hasn't tried it yet. What would you like to do? And a majority of the doctors said, well, I mean, the less invasive option for sure. So let's cancel surgery, get them on this medication, see if it helps. Now, the other half of the doctors, they said not one, but 2 new pain medicines have entered the market. What would you like to do? And half of those doctors said, yeah, let's just go with surgery. Meaning, when given more options, the doctors chose fewer.
I feel like you've been in talks with my doctor. Let's go straight to the painful.
He's like, dude, just drink water, man. So bringing that back to baking, I know none of us are hip doctors. If you are, I did not mean to offend the one of you. But we like to offer, you see some of these menus, and there's 15 different flavor options. And I'm like, wow, that's awesome. That's a lot. Because not only do I have to pick the design, the colors, now you have to pick the flavors, the size, just there's a lot going, the amount.
Yes.
It's a lot. It's a lot of decision-making process. And when that order form requires you to scroll and scroll and scroll, that's a lot of places where somebody can fall out of that funnel. So I know that when we create those lists of a lot of flavor options, we're thinking FOMO, like fear of missing out. I don't want them to miss out on anything. But in doing so, we actually created FOMO. I purchased this one flavor, but should I have done this one?
Right. And if you eat it and it may be not your favorite flavor, do you have now a bad taste in your mind towards the business? Because, hey, you can't go wrong with vanilla, but I chose this lemon drop smoothie type.
Actually, my last little case study, they did. No, it's a great lead-in. So it was at Harvard. They told everyone, hey, take a bunch of pictures throughout the semester. At the end of the semester, they had everyone bring in their photos, and they said, now pick your 2 favorite. So everyone picked 2. Then they told the first class, take 1 home. It'll be your final decision. It'll be the only one you take home. Make your decision. So they picked their favorite. The second class, they said, pick 1 to take home. However, if you do not like your photo, you can come back and switch it with that other photo at a later date.
Okay.
The amount of students who made the single decision, the no takesies, backsies, they reported being happier with their decision because there was no option.
Right.
But the people who were allowed to switch, a majority of those students came back and did switch it out, meaning that when given the option to change our mind, we will. But when we don't, we will think that our first decision was the best.
Right. That reminds me of me shopping the past few days because you were not here.
Okay. Corrie shops when she's sad.
I do. When will my twin return? This jacket will help.
This trench coat will look great.
But speaking of the trench coat that I bought, it was the last amount of them, and there was only 1 color to pick from.
Okay.
And 1 in my size.
Okay.
100% got it. I am so happy with my purchase. But
did you miss that part? I got it for you. Welcome back. I bought something while you were gone, and it's great. And you missed out on it because we're the only one.
They don't have any in your size. But it made me so much happier because there was no choice. The choice was made for me. So I am dreaming of the places I can wear this jacket to in front of you.
To pick me up at the airport. Please. All right. But that's a great point. Humans love to think that we love choices, but in reality, we don't. Narrowing down offerings to things that you both like baking and have the highest profit margin will be your money makers.
Can I say?
Yeah.
From a business point.
Okay.
To offer a ton of flavors, you have to have those ingredients.
Money.
That's a lot of money. And then if you're not constantly making, what is the holiday one, everyone? Gingerbread? Then you have to store those ingredients. That is storage that you could be using for props. And I'm just saying.
And we don't think you should do anything but buy beads. From no baby, low baby.
But that is a ton of your profits if you're not constantly selling those flavors. So vanilla, I always know I'm going to run through those ingredients. I'm always going to have that storage. I'm never going to be out the money it took to invest in all those weird little spices and things like that.
And here, the great thing is you are going to have more money. And it's so counterintuitive. And I'm not saying, obviously, the Cheesecake Factory is doing swell for Corrie, supporting them every day. But just when it comes to our small businesses, less is truly more. So something to consider. Now, if you have like 1 billion flavors and you do not want to drop a single one, think about this. Starbucks clearly can get its hands on pumpkin spice every day of the year. However, we can only buy it at one time. So they still have their flavor options, but they make it limited edition, which is again,
what you did there.
Yeah, it's converting people to say oh, I want this, I want this. So you can still have those flavor options, but introduce them as a limited time
And
only.
you'd almost make more sales that way because people would have FOMO, fear of missing out.
I think every time pumpkin spice comes out, Corey's car. Okay, I got a little sidebar here. Right, I get into Corey's car. It's 107 degrees here in Northern Virginia.
It is.
I think all the exhaust from all the planes I took global warmed
Virginia.
Yeah. So it's way too hot. But Corrie has around her gear shift a tiny little pumpkin spice, Yankee Candle scent thing. It's not a real candle. It's the smell. So I get it. I mean, I just want to say, imagine that a pumpkin spice latte, put on boxing gloves and just hit you upside the head. Okay. But no. And I'm like, I say, hey, Corrie, that's really nice, but I'm having a contact high headache from your pumpkin spice gear shift tournament. And then she reaches under her chair and gets 3 giant potpourri packets of pumpkin. It is so overwhelming.
Girl, we read
whatever Corrie needs in her life to have that much scent. I think it's therapy.
I made Heather, dare she complain about the pumpkin, but I made her pumpkin spice macarons. And
all I had to do is lick your leather chair to get the same effect.
Guys, I'm ready. It took everything in me not to decorate for Halloween this weekend.
Corey's doing, and I want you guys to know this, she's doing a Halloween tree so she can get the tree.
Doing a Halloween tree so I can get my Christmas tree up early. But it's going to look like a Halloween tree. And then we're going to just transition as soon as October 31st comes along, 12 at night, to Christmas.
Yeah, I know.
Thanksgiving, never heard of
it. Sorry, my brain cells had died in your car. I forgot where it was. Okay, anyways, narrowing down your list of offerings. If you don't want to narrow down your list of offerings, do what a lot of companies do and highlight and say this is a customer favorite. And that will help kind of direct people around your menu. And in my mind, hey, if this is a customer, and you'll see it a lot on menus where they put the little chili pepper at Chili's to say a lot of people like this.
Like say it's hot.
Acid. As soon as acid. But kind of help direct people so we can get them to where they need to go. If you're like, girls, I hate you and I refuse to implement anything, maybe that.
If you ever go to a restaurant with Heather,
don't trust Corrie because of the amount of pumpkin smell in her car.
Be prepared to eat with Heather because this is what she does. They'll give you the menu because that's what they're supposed to do. And Heather will take the 5 minutes to review it. And then when they come around, she'll be like, what's your favorite?
Judge me, but don't hate me. Judge me, but trust me. I love to say, don't ask them what's their favorite. You're going to get something weird. You have to say, what's the most ordered XYZ thing on the menu?
They look at her tormented. Like, ma'am, I just came here to take
ma'am, I just got out of a pumpkin coach car. Have you seen, what's the lady who gets in the pumpkin and goes to her princessy?
Cinderella.
I was Cinderella. Cinderella. I just need what drink will make me forget that car ride. Anyway, so I wrote at the bottom of my little write-up, kiss, keep it simple, sugar cookies.
You're so dumb.
Okay, man, you guys tell me who's
If you guys like pumpkin spice, side with Corrie. If you guys like to decorate early, side with Corrie. If you like to be a Scrooge, side with Heather.
How am I a Scrooge for saying your car reeks?
When you come over to my house, it's okay if I decorate for Christmas.
Corey's house smells like a vanilla cupcake had cupcake babies.
That happened to be pumpkin spice.
You just want to surround yourself. Just bake. You don't have to do the candles.
No, I want if I go into any other room other than the kitchen to be reminded.
When I open Corey's trunk now or get something out of it, it's her house in smelling form, air radiating out of the trunk.
Heather said, just so you know, if you're wearing perfume, I can't smell it because you smell like a Glade plug-in.
We went to, what was that? Oh, Bath and Body Works. And Corrie found the wall of their Glade plugins, and it was just mayhem.
I even went back. I had to go back.
Anyways, so that's insane. Anyways, so summary. What'd you take away?
Giving fewer options helps guide your customer to a sale that not only helps you make money, but it helps them be happier with the sale that they purchased.
Yeah. So if I went in vanilla chocolate were my only options, well, I really like vanilla. Now, if vanilla chocolate, strawberry, banana, blah, 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 on and on and on, I'm going to be like, oh no.
Yes.
Oh no.
Are you going to be like the people in Sweet Frog who get a million little tiny testers and test each single one?
Yes, in Sweet Frog and realize choice is a bottleneck. Yeah. When you have 5 little kids in front of you asking for every gummy bear shape, I'm like, bro, they all taste the same, man.
When me and my son go in there, I'm like, you have 4 seconds to tell me one flavor and
Could you
one
imagine
topping
being Corey's kid, guys? Could you imagine someone saying 4 seconds before we walk out of here?
Go.
It looks like a military.
Coconut! That's what he is.
Oh, okay.
Coconut.
I'm just trying to breathe real air.
He has no taste buds anymore.
Okay,
all right.
That wraps up my
hate on the holidays. Yes, it does.
That's insane. I wish there was a way I could transfer the smell of your car to the people listening right now.
You should have seen it. I was shopping for holiday decor, and I said,
it is August.
I know.
It's a weird day.
Just because it was only 107 this week is the only thing that held me back. Otherwise, I would have had a cart full of Christmas decor.
Like, when does Christmas hit? Like, September's pretty hot here.
In my house.
October could be kind of hot here.
In my house, we decorate for Halloween in September.
Corey's that neighbor. You're like, oh, look, those people that take that holiday too seriously.
Yes. And then as soon as October 31st comes down, what is the next November 1st, Christmas goes up.
You missed my birthday.
Thanksgiving. I don't care.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I only have so much room in the fridge. Okay. So
you only have so many plugs in the wall. Glade plugs.
They all have Glade plugs. All right. So now we're at the business with baking. And I promised you guys I would talk about my pre-sales. It would have been nice if I would have gotten my pre-sale information out to you on Tuesday, but Heather decided to take an extended vacation. So here we are at Thursday, but it's still almost back to school here, at least where we are, and in most places around the world.
Okay.
The United States.
Maybe. Sounds like my flight plan yesterday was around the world.
So I want to take you back through my back to school pre-sales this past week. So I have my Facebook page, which is mainly only local following. I say mainly because some of you bakers did find me on there, but as long as you engage with my content, Boo Bear, I will keep you on there.
Corey will find you and delete you if you do
The minute you just sit on there and don't do anything, you're gone. But I made a post that said, should we bring these back? And it was talking about my back to school bites of encouragement. If you are confused when I'm talking
about bites of encouragement.
They were kind of a hot seller.
Yeah, they were. Here's the funny thing. I think I said this in the last podcast, but I get copied on Corey's business emails for whatever reason. I have no idea why I'm an admin on the page.
Because if you tune into the live tonight, it says have 2 admins.
I do not want to be an admin. Someone's like, my husband was supposed to be admin, but now he's gone. I think he just pulled out. What to do? I'm out. Anyways, I'm like getting these things like, you're so great. Like, keep it up. Like, you're awesome. And I said, Corey, why are people being like super nice to you? And she's like, no, it's for the order.
They're choosing their bites of encouragement. But these back to school bites of encouragement are on cookies that are less than an inch big. They're literally bite size. But I let my customers choose 5 short sayings, like 2 words tops, and they get a bag full of them, and I make some money. So that was my back to school sales. I did not do the pencil cookies, but I couldn't drive myself to make 200 of them over the weekend. So
if you don't know what pencil cookie is, search the group for pencil cookie and breathe in the nightmare that is what a
pencil cookie.
1/2 inch wide by 4 inch long.
5/8 by 5/8 by 8 inches.
Oh, yeah. I know you'd know. You did how many last time pre-sale?
200 just the last time.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
So I couldn't do it this time. So I said, this is what I posted. Should we bring these back? The thing is, they had never been brought forth before that. This was just
what
me.
you made people feel like is that they missed out
last time. So what I was just trying to do was gauge interest. That was the word. I almost said curiosity, but I was curious if they wanted it.
I was curious about my curiosity about their curiosity.
So I just posted a cute photo of my son eating them. Should we bring these back? Got a ton of interest. Can I order these? No, you can't. They are not for sale now. But what I did say was, please keep an eye on the page because the sale is coming soon. So now I have people keeping eyes on the page. Then there is this local parents group. You can only post on Saturdays with a business post. So every Saturday I tend to post either what I made this week or whatever. But the last week I actually posted this.
Corey makes a reminder for herself to post in that group. If you guys are not making reminders on when groups allow sales posts, you're missing out on a lead source.
Money ton bundle.
Yeah, because Corey does it every Saturday. And I always see him like halfway through the day and I bump the thread up for her. And you know what you're thinking, Heather, you don't have kids.
Heather.
And I don't.
She's my kid. I let her in the group. So 2 weeks ago, I made a post, and I'm going to read exactly what it says to you. It says, It says hashtag Small Business Saturday. Then it's a link.
What you did there. That's like
link to my page.
So you got a cookie emoji.
A cookie emoji. Link to my page. Then asterisk coming soon. Asterisk.
Nice.
It says back to school isn't just for teachers. Send a sweet note with your kids for the first day of school.
Quote unquote. Very cute. Very cute.
These bite-sized bits of encouragement are a fun way to tell them that you're rooting for them. With little messages written in edible marker, you can choose up to 5 words or short 2-word phrases to send off with your little ones to school.
Cute, because you not only sold them, and I think you had a really nice picture.
I did.
Not only did you say, here's what I'm selling, you said, here's how you can use it to make your life better.
And make you look like a rock star to your kids. Okay, but it only said coming soon. What this did was get a lot of people to come and like my page.
There you go.
Because you couldn't buy it off that post.
You got them out of the group where you can only post on Saturdays.
Yes. So now they're on my page waiting for the sales post to come. So it created interest. I got a lot of page likes from it. And it's all local following. So I was super excited. This past week, I posted to my page and said, cookie emoji. Right now, I can do 10 to 12 packs of these bite size of encouragement cookie packs for back to school.
10 to 12. Limited amount.
Things to note. Pencil emoji. You can choose 5 short words or phrases.
Okay, Corrie made this in list form with pencil emojis to create the bulleted list. I think that's pretty slick.
So pickup is the 21st in Fairfax. Each pack contains 25 mini cookies. Each pack is $28. I write the sayings unless you want to purchase your own edible marker. Message the page to get on the list because once they're sold out, that'll be it. What do we notice here?
Urgency. Limited amounts. Details.
Price.
Corrie has these already written out.
Right. That's right out there. Okay, guess how many I actually had that I could sell? 22.
Oh.
How much did I say that I could sell on the page?
25.
No, I said I could only send 10 to 12.
Excuse me, I misread. There's only quality content over here. There's a lot of numbers.
So I told him I could only sell 10 to 12. I actually had 22 that I could sell. Guess how many I sold in total? 22.
Oh, nice.
Yes. So what
so you had to cut them off.
I had to cut them off. There's a wait list.
Oh.
But what I wanted to do is 10 to 12 people. That is small enough where people say, I have to get on that list.
How did it do?
But I knew that I could overextend myself to 22 because that's how many I had that I could do.
Nice. So but it doesn't matter if you had 22. You look like a hero when you said, well, I've already sold out 10, which this was my Twitchers. I really am not that interesting. I have no Twitchers this week, but I just want to bring in, do you mind?
Okay.
So Southwest, boards not assigned seats, which you should have seen me like a newborn baby calf. The first time I was trying to look for it, I was like, ma'am, I don't know where to sit.
My paper doesn't have my number.
There's not 67 rows. Anyways, you sit wherever. You just board at a certain time. So the sooner you board, the more options you get. It's anxiety inducing. But I was the last group, A, B, and C. I was the last seat of the lot. I would literally have to do that walk of shame down the center aisle where people are like, please don't sit next to me. And I'm like, I just want someone to choose me. So I upgraded. I went to the place in the airplane where you talk to somebody.
Okay.
What do you call it?
The front.
I went to the front of the plane. Talk to the pilot. I want to sit up here. Anyway, so I went to the front desk or whatever of Southwest and whatever. I was in Orlando. And I said, hey, how much does it cost for that early boarding thing so I can I can pay to go to Group A? And she just said, it's $40. And I was like, and then she's like, and there's only one left.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Where do I shove this credit card?
So
and
what
then
they
where do I
did
shove all that on the plane?
Was they told you a limited amount.
She answered my question, $40. And then she said, and it's the last one. And I didn't buy it right then. My opportunity of this decision would be gone. Yes. So saying, if she had said, well, it's $40 and, nobody's upgraded, so there's plenty of space, I'd been like, well, I'm going to go think about it.
Because it probably is like, why didn't they upgrade? I shouldn't upgrade if anyone else upgraded.
No sense of urgency, no sense of limitation, no sense of missing out. But when she said, and there's only one left, so you're lucky you're here right now. I'm lucky. So to say if I walk away, I'll be unlucky. My brain was like, girl, you give that visa over to her. You deserve
that spot.
Anyway, so back to your thing. But I agree with the whole saying, I only have 5 to 10.
Even who cares if you're telling a fib?
Whoa, Corey's a liar, and I'm not. I'm your favorite.
I got more cookies in my back pocket. Just hound me, and I probably will say yes. But my tips for posting for pre-sales, because I saw this as a struggle in the group, is post often. I know a lot of folks posted once, and they said they didn't make a sale, but reach with as low as it is means that you need to post as often as you can. Your Facebook page is a business page to do business. Annoy the pants off the people. They're following you because they want cookies. So post often, especially as it's coming to your cutoff day. That's when you really need to get your message out there. You need to make the most sales. You have a limited amount of time, so work with that time. Heather, the cat is fine.
He's sitting on the table.
Yeah, just let him be.
He has chaos right.
Okay, then take a bunch of different photos. A lot of people say, I don't want to post the same thing over and over to my feed, make it grow stale.
I'm going to say 2% of posts make it to the client's feed.
Yes. So if you feel like you're going stale or anything like that, take a bunch of different photos. Use those different photos.
It's more okay. Content is king, and you have to work less.
And what I don't always want to assume is that my favorite photo is going to be my client's favorite photo, because it usually never works that way.
It's so funny. So Corrie and I have a remodeling client who's done absolutely stunning kitchens, but at whatever age we are, white kitchens do it for me and Corrie, I guess. Yeah. I just really like that clean gray white look. Okay, yes, we're boring. So we often find ourselves favoring from their remodel photos those types of images. But Corrie posted a kitchen. I think it's ugly. I don't think it's my style. I think it's
stuck in the 90s.
And the amount of people are like, oh my goodness, I love a dark cherry kitchen with dark and dark and darker dark.
Yeah, because we so often look from our point of view and say, if I don't like it, then they won't like it. That's not the truth.
The key here is to know that if it's through Heather's point of view, it's probably right and everybody else is wrong.
Unless you choose Southwest as an airport.
Then we're all wrong.
So take a bunch of different photos if you feel like you're growing stale, because you don't know what's going to hit with your target audience and what won't. So if it takes it, even this morning, I had taken some photos last night and I said, you know what? I usually take them on a white backdrop too, but I'm going to skip it this time. I actually got in the car today, turned around, and I said, you lazy little girl, get in there and take...
lazy girl.
You lazy little baby. Get in there and take a photo of it on white, because I'm going to regret it later.
Right. But you have the opportunity now. Yes, it's a little bit more work, but you have more content and you don't know what's necessarily going to be the favorite of your audience.
The only thing it took away from me was time on TikTok sitting in the car.
Darn it.
So I said, okay. Create a buzz. People love to get hyped, whether it be coming soon post or a sales post. We love it. I mean, think of Black Friday, the mobs of people. It's because they've hyped their sales around an afternoon.
Here's funny. Afternoon, man, it's 8 a.m. when the mall opens first. Or I think, so Corrie and I used to. We really like to go to the mall and people watch. There's some restaurants that'll stay open and we get kind of those front seats.
This was pre-COVID, so we haven't done
I know. It was like not on last time. Yeah. But we're walking through the wing of Tyson's Mall, which is actually where we have that meetup, and we see, what was a store?
It was, Northwest.
It was North Face.
Did you say Northwest?
Northwest Airlines. Somebody take me out of the plane. We went to North Face.
Yeah.
So we're walking past North Face, and all of a sudden, they open the gate, and people are flooding.
We flooded in too.
So Corrie and I were like, hey, excuse me, sir, what's the discount? He's like, there's none. He's like, I have no idea why they're flooding in. And it was just because the hype was there.
Around it.
That funneled people into the heat. Had no discounts that day.
But they jumped on it and probably got sales because they were on that hype train that everyone else, take my money, I'm here for sales.
And that preconditioned buying mood that Black Friday gets you into, it's something we got to capitalize on. I know people are like, that's consumer greed. Yeah, you're in a marketing group to make money. Absolutely. And if we're conditioned to do that Christmas shopping around that date, that's when you hit it hard. But you got to do some build up.
And I would say I would behoove you guys to start thinking now. Don't do that.
Start thinking. It's coming. Okay, I'm sorry. I've been in a plane for far too long.
To start thinking about maybe doing your Christmas pre-sales on Black Friday to do that release.
It's a great idea. I think to do it on Black Friday. Whether you discount or not, remember you can't discount if you don't know your numbers.
Come on.
But if you have that discount, hey guys, I'm discounting the first 10 orders.
Hey.
Okay,
my last is don't lose them in the clicks. With pre-sales, I always want my needed info to make the sale to be right there for them to read. You lose people with the more hoops you make them dive through. So present the information for the sale so you can make it faster.
I agree.
So what you got was in there. Your choices were in there. How much it was in there. The pickup date and the location were all in there. Because I want whoever...
Did you use my job form?
This was before the job form you made. But I want all that, the person that ends up in my messenger, I want them to be prepared, card out, ready to buy. So that's what my pre-sales look like. I sold out. Now I have to make them all. I'm getting ready to be miserable for the next week. So
Mona.
pray for me.
I like that. Okay. That's good.
Okay.
That's a good one.
It's a good one.
So knowing what you know now about pre-sales, is there anything you'd change about what you did this time? Is there anything you optimize? So
Heather made a job form. If you're going to be a part of the course, Heather actually holds your hand and walks you step by step through it. That's a shameless plug for the course. It would be nice to have people have gone through the course. Not through the course. Go through the course. It would be nice too. It would be nice if I started thinking about it. Because you're picking up your phone, you old man. I gotta see people. Text it.
I'm gonna post it to the. You keep talking. I'm gonna post it to the Instagram, and nobody will know what it means.
Oh,
okay,
I see what you did there.
Right.
Okay, so my pre-sales, it would be nice if people went through the form, and Heather takes you step by step through job form, so you could set that up with her, because I had all the information in there. Plus, I could upsell and things like that, add some more value. So next time I'll try it with just the job form. If they don't go through the form, then they don't get whatever they want. So that's what I'll try next time.
Yeah, I did go through job form, and there's a couple ones I'm going to explore for the course additionally that people recommended. But Google Forms free, easy, things like that. But oh my goodness, the job form is free for your entry level. I think you limited to like a certain amount of submissions a month, 100, and a certain amount of
1,000
views. Yeah, so that means if somebody clicks to it. So I wouldn't necessarily have it publicly posted.
Please don't click to it.
Please don't look like Corrie's job form. She's in the free plan. I think you paid for it.
Oh.
Didn't I put your credit card information in there?
You put it somewhere.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
So feel free to look at it. But, back to my seeing too many choices causes the analysis paralysis. Job form has something called conditional logic, which means when if somebody clicks to Corrie's form, it says name, email,
location.
It doesn't even ask them for their address. All it says is name and email. Okay. After they do that, it says, what are you interested in? And they can click on Corrie's presale cookie bites of encouragement. And then it shows, hey, how many do you want? Here's the pickup location. It only shows you those two things.
Because that same form can be used for custom orders.
So when you click, I want custom orders, it says, okay, let's go into the details. But that shows up after they click that. Otherwise, all they see is 3 questions.
Since you're my IT person, I'm going to need you to take off that portion of the form.
Yeah, okay.
Sold out. 22 bags. Okay, so that actually leads us to the course. We want to highlight a little portion of it each week till it drops on August 31st. So Heather is actually going to tell us what this week's is about, and you guys will like this. We got an expert person
it's
to
me.
actually.
I'm just kidding.
I said expert.
I said somebody who's good at their job. Okay, so Don actually did a Facebook Live in the group back when we kind of first started the group. Dare I say it was in winter last year?
It was in January.
In January. He works with e-commerce brands who are doing over $200,000 in ad spend a month. So you're dealing with a lot more money there, and there's a lot more metrics when you're dealing with that kind of expenditure.
Okay.
So what he's going to do is, and I said, dude, like keep it very basic, very entry level, but walk us through creating a business manager, creating an ads manager, and creating a first ad.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, so he'll be doing a screen share. Again, we're talking to somebody who spent more money in a month than we spend typically in 2 years on Facebook.
Wow. So I'm excited about that. That's something I was going to do, but I think this will honestly be even more valuable to you guys to have
that giant
someone...
thump was a cat, okay?
It was not Corrie. She did not start. It's like... But I think you guys will enjoy. Facebook ads is 100% how we fill our cookie classes. Our cookie classes are where our highest margins of profit are. So that's what we want you to be able to take part in when it comes to Facebook advertising.
Okay, she's letting the cat out. Man, Phoebe is, I guess he just hears our voice on a chalkboard and it calls it quits. Anyways, so that's the course. The course go live date is August 31st. We're going to limit it to 250 people. They'll have access to a private Facebook group. And if you guys aren't feeling FOMO right now, my goodness, what do you want from us? But yeah, the course will be $68 a month. Cancel anytime, no hostage situation.
But the great thing about the course is it's constantly being added to. So it's not just you get what you get. It's constantly Heather and I putting in more content.
And there's things that are constantly changing. I mean, like Facebook is a new website every time I log in. So yeah, that will be the launch date. But we have a pay yearly upfront option. I don't know how the cancellation policy works for that, but yeah, you get 2 months free if you pay for the year upfront. Knowing that we're constantly adding stuff, I mean, this is hours and hours of classes.
Days and days of classes.
Yeah. But, and then in the Facebook group, yes, we're not shutting down the main group. But in the Facebook group, we'll be able to really dig. And I can screen share my Photoshop live and just bore you guys to death.
And I've already done my boring Lightroom.
Bored me to death.
Okay, so that takes us on to voicemails. Heather, lead us off with voicemail number 1 and let them know where they can call or text.
571-556-5644 is an automated number. You can call and leave a voicemail, or you can send a text. Alternatively, hello@sugarcookiemarketing.com. And that is the way to do that thing
that we asked you to do. Okay, voicemail number 1. I'm going to let you read it.
Since listening to one of your... Oh, this is from What the Fluff Cakes, which I find is kind of funny. Since listening to one of your podcasts, the one where you went over the aspect ratio of photos, I've been trying to use 16:9 more.
Over 1:1.
Pixel is, 1920 by 1080. That's 16:9. 1:1 is a perfect square. My thing is, though, that when posting, my watermark is cut off. Yes, just kidding. And looks poorly placed. When clicking into the photo, it looks fine, though. That's Facebook's auto crop feature. Mm-hmm. I watermark my photos for more people to be able to know who made the cookies and to find me, as opposed to prevent theft. I like that disclaimer there. So my question is this. Is there an ideal or better spot to add a watermark to our photos? Or should I resize my photos differently for Facebook and Instagram?
There is this lady that I follow on Instagram, and she does a fantastic... She actually has her logo in one of the main cookies. You would almost have to, it's like a Where's Waldo of her logo, but it's so nicely placed that it doesn't take away from the aesthetics of the photo. It doesn't look poorly placed or an afterthought. So if you want to do that, she puts it on one of her main cookies there that is in the center of the photo, so it's never cut off.
That's a nice idea. So center prevents any issue with the cropping.
Right.
Alternatively, I see a lot of people sneak them in little tiny sideways, like paralleling their, cutting boards and things
they
like
have
that.
the name instead of just the logo.
That's true.
So
I do prefer a name over the logo. Why? I love branding, so I do love a logo, but it's very hard to see them most of the time.
And it's hard to read, but if you did an @ the crumbed cookies,
now I can see. I can buy from Corrie. I know where to find her, and @'s typically a sign of Facebook.
Yeah. And you can make it a lot smaller. You can put it along the edge of a cookie, so it's never taking away from my hard work. But people can still recognize it. Follow me on Instagram. The crumb cookies.
Here's another thing, though. At the end of the day, she said, should I resize photos differently for Facebook and Instagram? We used to say more yes, and that would be because Facebook was preferring more of a horizontal layout and Instagram was more of a vertical. Now, most of Facebook is accessed through a phone. We actually recommend vertical on both.
Yeah, so you can choose 1:1 aspect ratio on Instagram, or you can just do the 16:9. And it does crop it in the feed, but it can't expand it when you're scrolling.
Same with Facebook. So in the feed, it's such a tricky question. The real solution is to make your logo towards the center, a little @ symbol, and sneak it in there.
Right.
Kind of enough to be able to see, but not to be intrusive. In a perfect world, we'd have an entire Facebook strategy, an entirely different Instagram strategy, and everything would be unique to each of those apps. But in reality,
we ain't got that kind of time.
We just don't have that kind of time. So, if you have the time, make Facebook specific and Instagram specific. If not, Corrie's solution is really great. And then alternatively, you could put it's just really hard. I guess if you put it towards the right edge center, right edge center, your crop's not going to touch it.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Unless you make it like super wide, but that's not the goal. We're making it vertical.
As long as it's not covering your entire cookie where you are just selling logos.
Did you just tell me not to put my logo over top of every cookie I've ever made?
Come at me.
Okay. So I really like that answer. I'm going to pull up a voicemail. Give me just a second, Corrie. Talk.
Okay, so the next...
Corrie was not with us.
We should have this nailed down by now.
I know. I forgot to open it up. Okay, here's the voicemail from Kim.
Sorry about that last one. I messed up and it hung up on me. So let me start again. Hi, twins. This is Kim from Mulberry Trees, and I'm not going to pick a favorite twin because I think you're both fantastic. My question is for people who have two different audiences that they want to email market to. So I have one way on my website to sign up for an email, but I have two different audiences. So I have locals that I want to email market classes and like pop-ups to, and I have cookiers that I want to market calendars to. So is there a way to have two ways to sign up for email marketing? I'd appreciate any advice. Thank you, guys.
So Heather is our email connoisseur of the two of us.
Connoisseur. I'm going to add that one to my LinkedIn bio. But great question. And the answer is yes, depending on your email sender, your mail newsletter sender. MailChimp is one we talk about a lot. I've switched over to SendGrid if you're getting the 2 Tuesday email. You can have different sign-up lists. And the great thing about those two senders, and a lot of them, is that they'll create the sign-up landing page for you. And then you tell, so SendGrid, I can say, hey, listen, I want to create a new list. This list is going to be for only people who wanted to pre-register for the course. SendGrid said, okay, here's the form. Send them this link. Mm-hmm. Anyone who signs up through that link, it's going to auto-populate a new list just for those people. Okay. And in MailChimp, and in most of them, it's called list segmentation. MailChimp used to have separate lists. SendGrid still does separate lists. MailChimp switched to list segmentation. So you have all your contacts within the MailChimp, and then you come and you segment that list. So these are these people. These are these people. These, because people can apply to be in more than one list.
Right.
So SendGrid solution is that I can create a bunch of lists. I can add the person to a bunch of lists, and then when they go to unsubscribe, it gives them the option of which newsletter they want to unsubscribe from. Mute the twins. Report as spam. So that's great. And the reason why that's such a valuable thing, because I know people kind of have that, shotgun effect. If I send them everything, maybe they'll convert. We want a small, narrow target audience because we want more open rates, which means a higher deliverability rate. If I send an email to 100 people and one person opens it, guess whose email is not getting delivered next week? Yeah, so Google does monitor, and SendGrid monitors my open rate, my click-through rate, my spam reports, unsubscribes, and things like that. And the higher those bad numbers are, the more SendGrid's about to shut down my account.
Because it reports back. It's bad on SendGrid.
Yeah, especially spam reports. So I know a lot of people are like, well, I never had a newsletter list. I'm going to just take everybody who bought from me in the past. Dangerous, because they did not opt in. Now, a workaround for that is to send them an email saying, hey, I'm starting a newsletter list. Would you like to join it?
Yeah, and let them opt in that way.
And besides, we want to only email people who actually opted in. Those are the people who said, yes, I'd like to see more.
Have you ever been to a networking group? They're going to spam you.
I get 30 spam emails after I leave a BNI. But the goal is to have a list of people who want to hear from us, not a hostage situation via Google inbox.
Yes.
So Kim sells these really cute Barbie-related calendars. But if she's selling to cookiers, who's not going to buy a Barbie calendar is her customers. So what Kim would create in MailChimp, or I'm going to use SendGrid as an example, she'd create cookie customers, and then she would create a client list. Those are two separate things. She create a landing page for both, and to her client list, she put the hyperlink on her website or in her email footer, click here to subscribe. And to her, if she's posting in Facebook groups to cookiers, here's where you can subscribe to find out my next release for the calendar. Yeah. Okay, next up is Belinda Cooley, lover.
Good morning to Heather and Corrie Miracle. This is Belinda Cooley calling from Bee's Cookie Basket. My question is regarding pricing. When you're figuring the price for the contents of your recipe to determine your best point of sale price, do you use the full price of a product? For example, if butter is on sale, and I buy all of my butter on sale and put it in the freezer, and I use that butter throughout the duration of its existence, do I charge the full price when I'm costing, or do I use the sale price? Again, I'd like to confirm that my favorite twins on Monday, Wednesday, Friday is Heather, and my other favorite twin, Corrie, is on Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. Have a great one.
Belinda. Corrie's yeah, okay, I'll take the question. That is honestly a great question. And this is why I don't technically have a price list out there. If I got my butter for a discounted rate, I could then pass that discount on to a client if I wanted to try to secure the sale from my local competition. It's up to me. Or I can continue with how much the cost of butter is now and account for inflation in the future. Like if the cost of butter, someone said it went up $4 where they are right now. So if I wanted to be able to make that money now, so when it does go up, that I don't have to pass that on to the customer, there's two strategies there.
There's a third strategy where you just keep the money.
That's what I do.
And also raise your price for inflation.
The thing is, at the end of the day, I know that things can take me extra time. I could break a cookie, something could burn, and sometimes I don't allot for that in the price that I give people. So if I could make a little off of the butter, it would kind of make the difference for the extra time I ended up using for breaking something.
Yeah, I'll be honest. Like, if you found a discount, I sound greedy, but I'm also in a marketing group on selling. Keep the money for your pocket. You will end up incurring an unexpected cost the next Bodabra Live. But the thing is, if you guys did the footwork to find cheaper ingredients, that should be rewarded in a higher profit for you. But again, you get yourself the flexibility to have that discount if you want it.
Right. So you have either way, it's not the wrong way. I'm always an advocate for making more money, so that's going to be where I go.
Yeah, but if discount is a pricing strategy, I wouldn't adjust a price list. I would keep it in a direct message to a client you really liked or something, because if you are adjusting your price list every time something fluctuates,
that's more time on you.
It's exhausting. Yeah.
So I hope that helps, Belinda. And
Belinda's doing a couple Facebook Lives coming up on airbrushing. A lot of people have that question. She's offering to teach them. And then she's teaching us how to do pick, play, post, which is
a popular app that people
create
use.
Videos, yeah,
for Instagram. So if you would like to call or email in, the phone number is 571-556-5644. You can email at hello@sugarcookiemarketing.com. We love your voicemails. We love your texts. We love your emails. So keep them coming. Literally, when I'm like in the middle of the week and it's like someone texted Sugar Cookie Marketing, I'm like, oh my God, let me see what they say.
I love.
And then when they say I love Corrie the most, I'm like, oh my God.
They never said, so it's amazing. It's just fascinating. Actually, What the Fluff Cakes, she says, I know Corrie for a long time, so I have to pick her.
She has to.
Somebody text in and say, you love me, please.
If Heather was a baker, she would know a lot of people too, but she's not.
I'm a faker. So, okay, next up we have group stuff, which these lives are great. I'll get the new lives up that people applied for.
Yeah, we actually have Sweet Pink Olive went to bat for us and got her business accountant to do a live, and he's going to explain LLCs,
business entity, and income tax. Blah.
Yeah, I could barf, but I cannot wait to do it. So if you haven't checked Sweet Pink Olive out, because that was a real
she's a cookie cutter seller, and she's the one who would have sponsored the cookie cutter of the week, except for I was gone and didn't make the
She also said you can choose to this week, and she'll allow you to catch up.
So past lives in this past week was AMA, which is Ask Me Anything with keto, for about keto baking with Keto Chef Mike, and I watched the whole thing. It was fascinating.
Yeah.
He got his start in keto baking. He's lost over 150 pounds. I think his truck broke down. He just decided to start a keto bake shop there.
Yeah, but he had been on keto for 3 years.
Yeah.
And then that's how he got into his niche. So
and he really tells you a lot about keto, but who else is buying into keto? And it's diabetics, and there's another calorie conscious people too.
Yeah.
But it's really interesting in how keto works with ketosis and cookies and things like that.
Shout out to Mike. I hope you get good news. I know you are going to the doctors this week, so we hope you fast healing.
Yeah. Optimizing Square invoicing, Square appointments, and Square workflow with Jessica Wolf. If you don't know what Square is, you're not there. You're Square. It's one of the most popular invoicing platforms and e-commerce platforms. So note that Squarespace and Square are two different platforms, confusingly, but many, many, many people in the group use Square for websites and invoicing and payment processing. Mm-hmm. And she kind of walked us through a lot, and she really optimized it. So that was fantastic. Great. From home bakery to brick and mortar with Greg, there's a podcast, Franklin. And he walked us through, Greg and his wife work together. They sell cheesecakes, and they sell from a brick and mortar building, but they also are starting a food truck, right?
Yeah. So he's like in the final stages of his food truck.
Yeah. So he kind of walked us through kind of what a brick and mortar looks like, a lot of the regulations he abides by and things like that. Then we went from money hungry monster to cash cow with Nicolette Lindsay, and she's focusing on profit first, which is the same author of the Pumpkin Plan. The book that we're reading, the Sugar Cookie Bookies, which is the one they're moving to after this, I think, is Profit First.
Yeah, I think so too.
Right. So that one's the guy's really comical in writing. There is some cursing, but he warns you about that. And if you buy the book and you don't want to hear the cursing, because I bought the audiobook, he says, please get a refund, no problem.
Oh, that's so nice. All right, we have upcoming events, which is great. One is tonight, 8 p.m., and it's a Facebook Live, Password Best Practices with Mr. Burke. This is Gina Marie Burks, who's done a few lives for us in the past. This is her husband, and this is honestly a fantastic one, because not only did just last night someone lost access to their page, they were hacked, but they were booted as an admin from their own page.
Their husband was booted as an admin.
And they do not have any of their customer contacts outside of that messenger. So they have lost all of that conversation, all those dates, all those times, and everything like that. So that is devastating. So if your password is your pet's name and your birth year, you need to tune in, because this is for you.
That's a good one. And he's answering any questions. So I think he's talking about even payment security and password managers, which,
great.
password managers are my bae.
Yeah, Heather
I love them.
She's converted the entire family.
Everyone's password is 16 characters long and makes no sense.
Then we have Color Theory with Catherine, and that is tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is something I need to tune into because I always tend to grab hot pink when someone asks for for a pink color. So Color Theory.
No, wait, she changed it. It's not tomorrow.
It's tomorrow.
Wait, hold on. Because she messaged me. Oh, it is tomorrow. Sorry. Okay. It was supposed to be Monday, and then she moved it to
Sorry about that, guys.
Sorry, guys.
Intro to Pick, Play, Post. Speaking of Belinda, this is with Belinda, and that is August 17th, which is Tuesday at 8 p.m. And lastly, we have What's It Like? Selling $3,000 worth of product at a pop-up with Nicole, and that is Monday, August 23rd at 7:30.
Yeah, she's going to drop some knowledge. She already prepped me with it.
Yeah, I know. I saw she has an outline and everything.
Okay, so we finally are in the final stages of our TikTok and Instagram Reels challenge.
It's a recap, baby girl.
Yeah, well, actually, it ends on the 15th, so I don't know why you said it was done.
Because I said you need a recap. You haven't posted any.
I've been out of town. So, my take on Instagram Reels and TikTok. Okay. I think that a 3 content bucket list is a healthy approach.
Okay, I just want to say, guys, we reached about 70,000 people.
One video was accounted for 67,000 people. So as a baker, I would say if you can incorporate humor and brag posts, like here's what I did, use some of the trends in the audio. Mm-hmm. I would like tips. I think that's really cool. Tips and decorating videos, those perform really well. They do. And then I think just kind of what would be a third bucket for a baker? I think
when they do like their staging, when they've staged their cookies and then almost like glide over it and you can kind of see everything they do.
You know what I really like? And I know this is a little bit more local niche, but I love following people in my area who take me to different restaurants and they're like, here's a restaurant that I really liked and I tried this and this and that and I really liked it. It's, 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And it connects that person to their location.
True.
And I think if a cookier could be like, hey, local people, because that's what we're truly trying to sell to. That would be really neat. So we did humor only, and I think we could have done better if we had done it, switched up a little bit, but we just wanted to kind of focus on humor for this one. Right. Very niche down, so a lot of inside jokes.
Loved it.
Yeah, so
love being the star of each and every single one
Corrie
of us. There was
plays me in most of them, so I think it's hilarious. But we have our late lunch learn and link up with Sugar Cookie Marketing, and we actually have one more ticket available. Someone had to drop out to their extreme regret, they said.
Extreme. Saddened. Tears.
Broken. We hope she makes a recovery, but there's still one ticket left.
So if you would like to join us, I know it's kind of last minute there, but that is August 26th from 2 to 4, and then the happy hour portion of it is from 4 to 6, and you can just drop in for that.
We should be at the front unless the world ends between now and then, in which case we will keep you updated.
Then,
to interest.
CookieCon.
Oh, great announcement.
Take it away.
Okay, so we were the closing speakers. We are the closing speakers at the final dinner in CookieCon Orlando. But they have asked us to fill in a spot that opened up for marketing as a core instructor. So that means we teach 8 classes for 45 minutes each right in a row Friday.
So since this was last minute, Heather said, let's go all out.
So I thought, what could appeal to the most people? Like, nobody wants to hear me drone on about Edgar.
We really don't.
So I thought if we could take it from Corrie setting up a photo. Like, so there's nothing there, and then she's staging it. She's photographing it. We upload and live stream from the computer to the big screen. Lightroom edits. I'm going to bring it into Photoshop and make some minor tweaks, just like Intro 101. Then we're going to take it into a scheduling software and Facebook Creators Studio. Mm-hmm. Write our copy
to make those sales copy.
Get a few hashtags from really light hashtag research, and then schedule it. Schedule it. Then in 45 minutes, you'll see from picture to payment, kind of how we work when we want to make a post.
Mm-hmm. So I'm excited about that. We have a lot of work to do between now and then. So I love that we're doing this free podcast for you right now.
Just really putting off that work we got to do.
Okay, then we have Twinterest. This entire week, I told myself I would not take any sales. I ended up taking 4 dozen, but...
Hey, really? You have your standards.
I do.
Your boundaries are there. And
I am money hungry. I have been focusing on making macarons. Ooh, I almost made a caramel.
I've been focusing on making macarons. What's the difference between the two?
One macaroon looked like an exploded cotton ball, and the other one looks like...
really?
Yeah, it just looks like a burnt cookie.
Oh, really?
I don't know.
You offended 50,000 people.
But a macaron. So I made for Heather, we made lavender macarons. We
They're
made
delicious.
pumpkin cheesecake macarons.
I've eaten 10. I should have a payment buried entry with these cookies Corrie makes.
It's because when I learn something new, Heather gets the benefit of it, and then she just...
I will never pay for a cookie.
She will not. She never has. Don't get it wrong. So I'm excited to really figure out those. If you have a favorite filling and a link to that filling, send them to me because I am willing to learn, to mess up, to get it right. So
How can they send them to you? On Instagram?
wherever you want to.
What's your handle?
At the crumb cookies.
The what?
At the crumbed cookies.
Why did you make it so complicated? Past tense crumbed, not present tense crumb.
The crumbs have already crumbed.
Okay, that's great. So back to our sponsors. Y'all placed some orders with Bakety Bake because she said, wow. Yeah, wow. But tell them about, so Bakety Bake is the meringue powder
supplier
from Bakety Bake in Idaho.
Yeah. So
what
it's
did you just call me? Never gets old. So here's the interesting thing, and Corrie will be making this 500 million cookies this weekend with that meringue powder. Why?
Okay, so guys, I have always cried because I could never write with a fine tip edible marker on my cookies because it would always puncture through.
Right.
So when you puncture through with an edible marker, there's no going back. There's no amount of erasing you can do. So I've always avoided writing on cookies, and I've just always wished that I could be popular and write on cookies like other cookiers. This meringue powder has changed my life. I wrote on 24 cookies last week for an order, and not one ruined.
That's great. So code TWINS, all caps. I have no idea if lower caps works or not. That might be for another citizen. But TWINS at checkout, you can save 10%, and that's baketybakeIdaho.com.
She sells in 5 pounds, 1 pound, or you can get a tester sample. So you can try it out.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. So if you are a Genie's for lifer and you just want to try it out, you can definitely get that little sample pack, give it a go.
I think shipping's a little pricey. So before people run to the group and say, oh my goodness, for shipping's like $11. Well, we live in Northern Virginia, not in Idaho.
Right. So to me, I justified it. We literally did that last week. So if you want to justify it, I say you're supporting a small business, a cookier, one of us, and it is a great product. So you get a 2 for there.
Great. So just don't buy that 1 pack of bows this week and you have plenty of money.
Skip on the pumpkin spice latte from Starbucks.
There you go. And then obviously Eduardo.
Yeah,
Eddie is a sponsor. If you don't know who Eddie is, it's so funny because this lady posted in the group and she's like, I have to apologize. I thought when you guys were writing Eddie, you just meant like an edible paper. She's like, so I told everybody you just need to buy it. You invest in yourself. She's like, I had no idea it was an actual product that was $3,000.
I know.
But Eddie's pretty fantastic. It's prints directly on food with edible ink.
That's FDA approved.
Yeah,
so.
The only one. I don't know. Cake Pros are really cool, but they seem really expensive.
Or they're not. I don't know. There's
not a lot. There's 2 different types of edible food printers. Find the one that works best for you and your budget. But obviously, Eddie's my boyfriend, so I gotta plug him here.
Yeah, and definitely check out the group on Facebook. They tells you the pros and cons, the wins, the losses, the heartbreaks.
And people are really creating really unique prints.
Yeah, so someone printed it on a zucchini.
Hey, you never know.
You never know.
I need to. Okay, mailbag. I'll go to the mail tomorrow. I'm sorry. I took Southwest home, and it's just messed up my week.
So, guys, that wraps us up.
That wraps us up 1 hour and 2 minutes.
We talked as fast as we could.
Okay, guys. See you next week, which is probably in 2 days since it's the end of this week.